Welcome back, Life Sciences. That all-important break. Get all the oxygen flowing, get the brain working. This section, as I said, you really, really need it. We're revising evolution of humankind, human evolution. And we've been looking at difficult concepts, yes, all right? So we're looking at this whole, when we look at evolution, how is it, what caused this branch, right? From we in the primates, this hominidae, we all part of the great apes, but around about 6 million years ago, this branch occurred, right? This branch, and what did we see? What are the trends that there? And we looked at the whole differences, this bipedalism that brought in. What does it bring with it? Okay, walking upright, being able to, right, not walk on all fours. We looked at the trends as far as the skeleton. You need to understand how tools come into play, how culture comes into play. And then we looked at the different phases, right, of hominin evolution. We looked at Australopithecines, right? What kind of examples do they have? They're more ape-like structures, right? But yet they were able to walk upright. Then we looked at the whole genus of the Homo, right? What are we starting to see? The trends there, all of that show the trends, the bigger cranium, right? We start to see more sophisticated tools. We start to see the jaw starting to get smaller. The diet has changed. Why has the diet changed? We can link it to culture, to fire, right? To finding food, etc. And the last piece of evidence that we look at is going to be genetic evidence. And that's going to be found, right, in the DNA, but most importantly, in the mitochondrial DNA. Now, the next section that we're going to look at is called the Out of Africa hypothesis. And there has been a lot of debate over time about where did Homo sapiens start, all right? The Homo sapiens, humans, us. Where did we first originate? And we're going to look, this theory, what do we go back to? We go and look at hard evidence. What do the fossils tell us? All right. What does archaeology tell us? Right. What does culture tell us? And most importantly, what do genetics tell us? And if we look at all of those concepts, it basically boils down to the out of Africa, right? And what does that mean? Literally, Homo sapiens originated in Africa and then moved out of Africa. Now, when we come to this hypothesis, right, I want to explain to you what this journey basically is. Now, when we look about why we wanted to move out of Africa, is that Africa at the time used to be quite nice and right dry. There was actually a lot. It was actually more wetter. It was cooler. There was lots of food, etc. And what happened over time is that Africa, as we know it, it became hotter and became drier, and there became less food available. And what that meant was people, Homo sapiens living, or Homo, the group Homo, living in Africa, needed to go out of Africa in search of food. Now, I want to explain to you, it's quite an intricate thing, but basically what happened is that if we have a look at Africa over here, the first ones to actually move were Homo erectus, because they are older than the Homo sapiens. So we're going to find almost like a wave. Homo erectus moved out of Africa, as you can see, it's the yellow, into, the northern continents. And as I said to you, it's because of the search of food. And remember, it's getting colder, but what can we do now? We can control fire. If I've got fire, I have got heat. Now, also one thing often you guys forget, this is a flat picture that we're telling you about. What is the earth? It's round. Guys, it connects. So you're going to say, oh, but ma'am, how did they swim across the ocean? They didn't really have to. They could have walked across. Because if I go up, if I join everything, you can actually, the continents, yes, it's really cold and it's really difficult, but it is doable. We always keep on thinking that the earth is flat. It's not. Let's join it. When I look at something round, it becomes a lot more, all right, doable. So Homo erectus went out first. And what they often tend to, all right, is that in here, in the northern continents, that's where Homo neanderthalis. You won't see any, very little Neanderthal genes in Africa. But as we looked at that whole tree, the second wave, all right, was Homo sapiens. Genetic evidence tells us that the oldest Homo sapien fossils are here in Africa, in South Africa, all right, in some of our caves along the coast. Oldest artifacts, right, and genetic evidence, mitochondrial DNA, mitochondrial Eve, as she's called. All of it points to the fact that the Homo sapiens, all right, originated in Africa, and they then followed in a second wave, right? And basically what happens is they outcompeted. There are some things that they interbred, but basically at the end, the Homo sapiens, us, we're the only ones that survived. And that is the out of Africa hypothesis. As I said, mitochondrial DNA, mitochondrial Eve, Africa. The fossils, the oldest Homo sapien fossils here in Africa. All right, so that shows us the theory, what we say, that the out of Africa, that Homo sapiens, right, originated here. Okay, what kind of questions can we ask here? Have a look here. It gets to our phylogenetic tree. So guys, very often these are the kind of diagrams that you are going to get, right? Can you read from these phylogenetic trees? It says here, fossil evidence, right, for humans may be interpreted in different ways. One possible model of human evolution is shown below. Okay, it tells us a time, and it's telling us, it gives you an idea of the history, basically who came before who. So what kind of questions are they going to ask us? Name the family, all right, to which all the represented diagrams belong. Guys, this is the one that we said right from the beginning. What's the two things I need to know? I need to know that the order is primate and the family that I belong to. Right, it doesn't show us here, but unfortunately you do need to know that it's going to be what? The hominid. All right, the hominids, the dis, not the hominins, the hominids. All right, so that's where we're going to go there. There's two families, hominids and the hominins. Now, if you have a look here, all right, I'm looking at it again, and if I look at what I can see, I can only see human ancestors. So I'm not going to be part of the superfamily. Right, here we go. This is the hominins. That would be more correct because I don't see any kind of ape-like creature over there. So hominins would be my answer. Describe how cultural evidence, right, is used to support the theory of human evolution. Now it's for 2 marks. What is cultural evidence? The first one is tools. What do tools show us? Okay, tools show us the more complex the tool, probably, what else? The larger the cranium size. Right, what else is culture about? Culture also tells us language. What else? Culture, and other things would be not only tools, sometimes you guys learnt about jewelry. All of that is culture. And what does that mean? Language, once again, all of that leads to a larger and more complex cranium. Be careful what you say, guys, about intelligence. Okay, so don't link the cranium and brain size. So here we're looking at the human evolution. Yes, we spoke about the brain size, but we literally made it about the cranium. The larger the cranium, yes, the larger the brain, the more intelligent we would be. Okay, how long ago did the most recent common ancestor, these are always quite tricky, the most recent common ancestor of Homo erectus, so where we go, we've got to find Homo erectus over here, right, and Homo heidelbergensis. Now we need to find their common. So what do they have in common? So let's take the arrows, and there we go. Where do they link to? The Australopithecus afarensis, the most common, right, ancestor. They're going to be there. Okay, guys, not an easy section, and I know it's not always your favorite one, but you do have to have that understanding of it. All right, go over past papers, go and find resources, make yourself simple little mind maps to just bring it down a bit to a concept that you are going to be able to understand. I'm afraid that is all that we have time for. Until next time, cheerio, bye.